Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. Now I really want to do a challenge video, but I also want to do something that was also informative and that could actually help you guys. So I figured I would take an eyeshadow palette, and today I took my Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and I use this palette to basically do my whole entire face other than my mascara, foundation, and concealer. But everything else, my bronzer, my contour, my blush, my highlight, my lips, my brows, and of course my eyeshadow were all used by using just this one palette, because when it comes down to it, eyeshadows are just powders. A powder is a powder. So if you have the right shade, you could totally make it work. Let me know what you guys think of this like challenge type of video. Do you want to see me do this with other palettes? If you like to see me complete my whole entire face using just the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, then of course keep on watching. Okay, so I guess we should sort of just jump right into it. Now the first thing that I want to do is bronze my face. And for that, I was thinking of using the raw sienna color right over here, because I feel like this is probably the closest color that I could get to a bronzer shade. And I may just touch my brush into Cypress Umber, which is this really deep matte brown. So for my brush, I'm going to be taking my Morphe E3, and I'm basically just going to dip my brush into raw sienna and then just like a tap into Cypress Umber and then back into raw sienna. I'm not sure where to start. I think I'm going to start here. Okay. Ooh, that actually looks really nice. I was a little bit nervous that the Cypress Umber, like the really deep matte brown, would make me look crazy, but I think that deepened up the raw sienna like perfectly, and it actually made a really pretty bronzer shade. Okay. So to contour, I'm going to take a angled brush. This is my Morphe E4, and I'm going to dip into Warm Taupe. This is a really great color to use to contour because it is quite cool toned. So again, I'm going to dip my brush into Cypress Umber just to deepen up that color a little bit. So I'm going to tap off all of the excess, and we're going to just jump right in and contour those cheekbones a little bit. It's like sort of the perfect cool toned brown shade. So I'm just applying that like the hollows of my cheeks, a little bit on my hairline where you would normally contour. And then I'm just gonna blend a little bit down my neck. So now to sort of clean up underneath the contour and sharpen it up a bit, I'm going to go into Tempera, which is like the matte creamy shade in the palette. And I'm going to take that on my Morphe E53. And I'm going to use this to just like sort of carve out that contour and then blend it out. And this is gonna clean up any powder that sort of went below that line. I'm also gonna take a little bit of the same powder and use this to highlight my face a little bit, not to like add a glow, but just to add some light to my face. So I'm gonna put a little bit in the center of my forehead, down my nose, on my chin, underneath my eyes, but not directly underneath my eyes, just to brighten everything up a little bit. And this powder is actually really nice because it has a little bit of a sheen to it. So as you can see, it made my skin have this like really pretty glow. Since it's not like a flat matte, but there's no sparkle or shimmer, it's just almost like a satin finish. So that actually created quite a pretty effect. So for my eyes, I think I want to do sort of like a smoky cat eye. So I'm gonna have a lot of like darkness right on the outer corner of my eye, but everything else I want to be pretty light. And I'm going to go into Golden Ochre, and I'm going to use this as my transition shade. So I'm just going to apply that right above my crease and just buff that out so that it's nice and blended. Okay, now I'm gonna go into a smaller little blending brush, and I'm gonna go into this orange shade right on the corner, and I'm going to just pop this into my crease. Make sure that you go not only in back and forth motions, but also small circular motions to blend that into Golden Ochre. And I'm really just concentrating the shade on the outer corner of my eye, sort of blending it down towards my lash line and just slightly into my crease. Now with the same brush, I'm gonna go into Red Ochre, which is this really pretty like rusty red shade. And I'm going to put this into my crease as well, concentrating it more in the socket of my eye, not blending it out quite as much, because we're gonna make the darker shades a little bit more concentrated so that you have a nice like gradient effect. And now taking a small little detail brush and going back into Red Ochre and just running that along only the outer half of my lower lash line. All right, so now I'm gonna create an eyeliner on my upper lash line. So I'm going to go into Cypress Umber on a little angle brush, and I'm going to press this up against my upper lash line to add a little bit of smokiness there, and I'm only going halfway. And I'm also bringing this down on my lower lash line and sort of bringing it up into a wing and then just connecting it. So I just created a very soft wing, and now I'm actually going to line the inner rim of my eye. Now do this at your own risk. If you're wearing contacts especially, you may not want to put powder in your eye, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to wet my brush with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus, just so that the powder really does like sort of stick. So I'm going to take a little bit more of Cypress Umber on my damp brush and just press that onto my waterline. And as you can see, that creates a very like deep eyeliner. But again, do this at your own risk. You may not want to put powder directly in your eye if your eyes are very sensitive. My eyes aren't. Now for my lid, I'm going to take Primavera, which is this really pretty golden shade, and I'm going to just pop this on the remaining part of my lid to finish off this eye look. And then I'm going to go into Vermeer, and I'm going to pop that on the inner corners of my eye, as well as on my brow bone. All right, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a few coats of mascara. This is just my Benefit Roller Lash, because even if I try really, really hard, I don't see how I would be able to use eyeshadow as mascara. So we're just gonna use the traditional mascara today. So the eyes are now done, and now let's move on to the rest of the face, which I think is like the fun part here. So let me just quickly do my brows. I'm actually going to take the same little angle brush that I used previously. So I'm just gonna dip my brush into Warm Taupe. This is a really great shade if you are more on like the blonde side and you want a very, very light brow color. But because my brows are a little bit darker, I'm gonna dip my brush a little bit into Cypress Umber, just go back and forth between the two just to deepen it up. I really feel like Cypress Umber is sort of like my saving grace throughout this whole entire thing. I'm using it for basically everything. And I'm just going to lightly fill in my brows, and that's actually such a spot on color that matches my brows perfectly. This Warm Taupe shade is such a good shade for brows because it's so nice and cool toned. So I'm just going to lightly define them. So now it's time to move on to the blush and the highlights. So I'm not really sure what I want to do with the blush. I was thinking maybe Venetian Red and just going in like so lightly, I barely even want to touch the color. But it also scares me quite a bit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mix Primavera and Venetian Red to almost make like a glowy golden raspberry blush. So I'm just going to very lightly just tap my brush into Venetian Red and then tap my brush into Primavera, and I'm going to tap off the excess. And now I'm going to apply this to the apples of my cheeks to blush them up a little bit. Oh, it's actually so pretty. Mixing the Venetian Red with that golden shade Primavera makes like the prettiest blush ever. Honestly, I may just use this palette every single day to do this look because I'm honestly really in love with everything about it. Damn. With a color as intense as Venetian Red, you want to apply a little bit at a time, and look how pretty that looks. And to highlight, I'm going to take Vermeer on my Morphe M510, and I'm just going to apply that right to the tops of my cheekbones. So you want to blend it out really nicely. Ooh. I'm also gonna put a little of this on my Cupid's bow. So the last step to this look is lips. I really wanted to see if I would be able to use an eyeshadow as a lipstick if I were to dampen it with a little bit of Fix Plus. I've never done anything like this before, so this could easily turn into a disaster. I'm actually want to use this orange shade. I really want to tie the eyes into the lips and do this sort of monochromatic look. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna dampen this tiny little brush. This is my Morphe E39 with some Fix Plus. And now I'm gonna just dip my brush into the orange shade and just basically start applying that on my lips. It works! Okay, I'm not done yet though with the lips. I'm gonna take my finger and dip into Primavera, which is the gold shade, and I'm gonna tap this right in the center on the metallic lip trend. Okay, so now I'm just gonna finish everything off with a little bit of a spritz of Fix Plus just to, you know, set everything in place. So that's it for the finished tutorial / challenge. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it entertaining and also helpful. Don't forget to let me know what you thought in the comments. Give this video a big thumbs up, and of course subscribe if you're not subscribed already. So that is it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. Today's video is going to be a really fun one.